Hola food tubers, I'm Omar Aliboy. I'm a Spanish chef and I've been cooking Spanish food since I was a little boy. It's my first time in the channel and I'm going to be cooking for you patatas y chorizo a la riojana, which translate at potatoes and chorizo stew Rioja style. It's a spicy and warming one-pot dish, rich in color and full of flavor. If you like the sound of this dish, give it a thumbs up and let's get cooking. I have here my terracotta on a low heat and with a good drizzle of olive oil. Thinly sliced 5 garlic cloves. Now we are going to thinly slice this couple of onions. It may look like a lot of onion, but this recipe is for 6. Gonna give it a good stir. I've already chopped these 2 peppers, which I'm going to add. Give it a good stir so that all comes together. We'll be looking at 10 minutes so they are nice and soft. I'm going to start chopping this beautiful semi-cured chorizo. Take this ugly skin off. Roughly chop it in like 1 centimeter slices. Now I'm just going to chop these 2 tomatoes and just dice it. You can grate it as well. I mean, it's home cooking. You could peel them as well if you want. Just make sure that while you are doing your preparation, you keep an eye on this pot, as it can get really hot. There is a say about this recipe in Spanish that says, con patatas, chorizo y vino se anda el camino, which translates as, with chorizo, potatoes and wine, you will make your way through the day. Because it gives you a lot of energy. You know, it has all the protein of the chorizo, the carbs on the potatoes, some vitamins from the tomatoes and peppers, so it's quite a full-on, full-equipped dish. This is at the perfect point to add the chorizo. I don't want to add it too early because it's semi-dry and it can get a bit rubbery. So we just need 5 minutes of it to melt and to give all that goodness into the stew. 1 chili, dry chili. I'm not going to chop it. I don't want it to be too spicy. That's completely up to you. And as well, a couple of bay leaves. We are going to stir this and cook it for 5 minutes. You can start to see how everything is turning red. Can you see all that fat? That's the fat of the chorizo. We don't want it to be too long frying. It will get quite rubbery. So I think now it's time. The sweet pimenton that is so finely grinded that it will burn very quickly. So I need to add some liquid to it. A generous teaspoon. And the tomatoes straight away. Otherwise, the sweet pimenton will burn. Some people get confused about the differences between paprika and sweet pimenton, and many people think they are the same, but they are not. Sweet pimenton is smoke dried and paprika is sun dried. So one will have a very smoky flavor and others doesn't, and that's the spice that is used for chorizo, our staple Spanish ingredient, and that's why it has so much taste and so much depth. At this point, I'm going to start chopping the potatoes, okay? And there is a particular technique to it that, by the way, patatas is potatoes, and that's the name of the dish. So we are going to chop it by cracking it. What you get by doing that, as you can see, there is a lot of starch being released, and that's what we need for our stew. We need it to have a lot of starch into it so that it becomes very thick, nice and thick. And now a good stir before it burns. These are the Spanish flag. It looks like Spain. Yellow, red, chorizo, peppers. It tells a lot about where we come from, actually, this dish. Very rustic, very homey. This is the sort of food that we eat at home during winter, during autumn. So now it's time to add a few fresh thyme leaves. 1 sprig should be enough. Just a few drops of vinegar. It can be red wine vinegar, sherry vinegar, and about 2 liters of water approximately, and a good pinch of salt. This needs to come back to the boil and needs to slowly simmer for about 30 minutes or until all the potatoes are thoroughly cooked and they are starting to break. All these corners that we've created are what they are going to make this rich stew so thick. And that's what we are looking for. They need to round and break slowly. And just leave it here for 30 minutes, slowly simmering until it's ready. And after 30 minutes, this is how it should look. And this is how the potatoes should look, the most important part of it. Broken corners. This is not a liquid anymore. It's quite dense and it feels more like a rich stew, like when you cook pork cheeks and things with bone marrow. In this case, it's a humble potato, what has created it. And now we are ready to serve. And this is going to serve 6 people and make sure that everyone gets a bit of everything. And this is ready. A bit of lovely bread to go with it. Let's give it a try. So hearty, so warming, as I said at the beginning. So rich in flavor, so much depth because of the chorizo, the pimentón. It gives so much to it. If you have never tried a Spanish food, I think this is a great one to start with. Real, authentic Spanish food at its best, all done with ingredients you can find in your local supermarket. So I hope you try it and give it a thumbs up. And in the comment box below, let me know which Spanish dishes you would like me to be cooking. Please subscribe, it's gratis, and hasta pronto!